All right, hey guys, welcome back to another preview of Marvel Legendary Revelations expansion. We got a second preview in 2 days? What? I thought I had to, based on what they said in the last one, we kind of thought we were getting one soon, but not this soon. So we're going to see the Mandarin here. So I haven't looked at it yet, so I'm looking at this same as you guys. So the Mandarin manipulates secrets to turn Avengers against Avenger. So Mandarin has and his 10 rings. So he's 16 attack. All Mandarin rings get +1. That must be his villain group. Yeah. Mandarin gets +1 for each Mandarin ring among... No, -1, sorry. -1. Let me see this real quick. We'll expand it because it's kind of hard to read. Get the image expanded a bit. Where'd it go? Hold on, let's see here. Where'd it go? There it is. Sorry. Oh, that was weird. So Mandarin gets -1 for each Mandarin ring among all the players' victory piles, -3 for each in solo. So that makes him a lot easier. Always leaves Mandarin rings. Mastering each player chooses a Mandarin rings from the victory pile and enter the city. Any player who did not have a ring gains a wound instead. So really straightforward. I wonder what his epic side is going to be. Mandarin rings are the first henchman group that isn't 10 identical cards. Instead, it's 10 unique cards. When using these with a mastermind besides the Mandarin, they represent blasts of power from a distance without facing the full might of the Mandarin in person. Wow. So we got, I can't really read that. Diamonic, the white light. Where are these images? Where are these images? Where are these images? You know what? We're going to forgo the image. Oh, here it is. Draw a card. So straightforward. And okay, this next one says you may choose a card from your hand or discard pile. The player to your right puts it in their hand. That's cool because you would end up putting a card from your discard pile into your hand in solo. KO one of your heroes. That one looks kind of crazy looking. Spin. Reveal the top 6 cards of your deck. Discard all of them that cost 0 and then put the rest back in order. That's nice. That's cool. So we have a henchman group that are all 10 different cards. That's dope. That's really cool. Alright, so then we have locations. Is this an ability? No. Where the Revelations set adds a completely new type of Marvel Legendary location. These cards represent infamous strongholds of the Marvel Universe. Oh, locations. Okay. Type 2 Marvel Legendary locations. Okay, it's a type of card. Okay. Not traps, locations. Okay. These cards represent infamous strongholds in the Marvel Universe. Each villain group in the set contains at least one location. So we have the Dark Dimension. Villains here get Dark Memories. Villains who have already get the bonus again. Fight, take another turn after this one. So when a location is played from the villain deck, place it above the nearest city space that does not have a location. Leave enough room that villains can move to the city as normal. So, if I understand this correctly, it says you'll flip it over, and if there's no location in the sewers, it goes there. So that means that any villain that comes into that space gets that effect, because Dark Memories, and if they have it second time, they double. When a location is played from the villain deck, it's near... Okay. Ooh, Hydra Base. It's a henchman location. So Hydra is a group, and they have a location. Hydra Base gets +2 while there's a villain here, and then you fight it KO. Okay, interesting. Henchman location. Do you think the whole thing are henchmen? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Once placed, locations don't move. Villains don't push forward locations. You can have a location in a space that has a location. You can have a villain in a space that has a location above it. Most locations specify specific or special abilities that happen when you fight villains in that space. Some villains become stronger when there's a villain in that space. Some locations become strong when there are villains in the space. Some villains and masterminds say they become stronger based on locations. So can you wait? Okay, most locations specify special abilities that happen when you fight villains in that space. So you can fight the location though, right? I would assume so. Okay, anyway, let's see. We have this group is called Lethal Legion. M'Baku? What? Okay. And then we have White Gorilla Cult. So M'Baku gets +3 while there's a cult location in the city, each player reveals their hand and discards a tech hero, or tech card, and then escape, same effect. And then we have location, Lethal Legion for this. Is Killmonger a villain or a mastermind, I wonder? Or maybe this isn't associated with anything. Whenever you defeat a villain here, each player reveals their hand and discards a tech hero. So this is the location there. It's interesting. You can fight a location by spending the listed amount of attack, putting a discard into your victory pile, and doing any fight ability the location may have. If a new location is played and every city space has a location, then KO the location with the lowest attack to make room. If tied, the player chooses. This might KO the newly placed location or one of the previous locations. So this is looks like another one from Lethal Legion. Living Laser gets +3 if there's a maze location in the city. Each player gets fight. Each player reveals a blue hero, gains a wound. We got Laser Maze, which whenever you fight a villain here, each other player reveals. Okay, so they're like very similar. These are very similar. So I wonder if what gets cut, because there can only be, 5 heroes, and this is the same villain group. Lethal Legion's the same villain group. So the fact that M'Baku isn't related to Black Panther. I don't know who this Living Laser guy is, but I don't think it's related to Black Panther. Correct me if I'm wrong. In one-player solo mode, when a location tells each other player to do something, you do it yourself. We knew that. Location clarifications. Locations do not count as villains. Special abilities that mention villains do not work on locations, so they're separate. They're like traps. They're separate. If a mastermind or scheme destroys a city space with location, KO that location. So we're thinking like, like Galactus or something. A city space with location above it has no villains, still counts as an empty for abilities. So for, patrol. Each mastermind in the set has at least one tactic that becomes a location. You win when the tactic has no face, no tactics left under, or the mastermind has no tactics under it. You don't also have to defeat all the tactics that have turned a location in the city. So long as you get rid of all the tactics, you're good. And then we have, so Grim Reaper is the last mastermind. So he's the one that leads Lethal Legion. So Grim Reaper gets +1 for each location in the city. Lethal Legion, he always leads. Master Strike, the strike enters the city as a +7 graveyard location, or a 7 attack graveyard location. This and that says this gets +2 while there's a villain here. It's worth 5 victory points. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Locations don't capture bystanders, but some card abilities make them capture bystanders. Rescue them when you fight a location. Okay. Ooh, we have another transform scheme. Without locations, it would be a shame if we didn't add more city spaces on the board. So earthquakes drain the ocean. We have 11 twists, add an extra villain group. Special rules. There are 2 extra low tide city spaces on the left of the city. So the city has a total of 7 spaces. Twist. The tide rushes and the scheme transforms. And then evil wins when 3 villains per player have escaped or the villain deck runs out. So this will be where it flips back and forth between the ocean. So ocean drains the earthquake drains the ocean, then tsunami crushes the coast. So it's going to flip between the two, like masterminds from World War Hulk. So special rules: the low tide bridge and street city spaces no longer exist. The city has 3 total spaces. Put the scheme on the street. This scheme on the street to mark the end of the city. Villains in the city spaces destroyed escape starting from the left. The tide rushes out for the twist, which this scheme transforms to playing on a card from the villain deck, and then the win condition's the same. So that's going to be cool because you're basically just shrinking and expanding the city space depending on... That'll be a really fun scheme, and I think it'll be pretty hard, but it'll be really, really fun. All right, we hope you've enjoyed our previews from our Legendary. Join us next time as the Avengers make a last stand against some dark foes. So I'm guessing we'll get it, maybe tomorrow? That would be crazy if we got it tomorrow. So we know the 3 masterminds in the set are Grim Reaper, Mandarin, and the Hood. We know we have Hood's gang. We have Lethal Legion. We have... I don't know anybody else. And then the henchman groups are going to be Hydra and the 10 Rings. So we got a good chunk of what we know is coming. But this set is looking to be so cool. I'm really, really excited for this. So If we do have another preview tomorrow, you'll be sure I'll have a video out for that. And if not, then I'll make the video whenever we come to the next preview. So I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in another video.